Your time is limited. So don't waste it living someone else's life. Steve Jobs. There are sentences that fade with time, and there are those that echo through the soul. Steve Jobs' words, spoken in a quiet yet firm voice at Stanford's commencement speech in 2005, carry the weight of a life that had already stared death in the eye. Your time is limited. So don't waste it living someone else's life. At first glance, the message is simple, direct, almost too familiar. But beneath its brevity lies a profound philosophy, one that speaks to the fragile nature of our existence, and the courage it takes to live life on your own terms. 1. The unforgiving nature of time. Time is the only resource we can never replenish. We can earn more money, we can rebuild a broken career, we can mend lost relationships. But time, once past, is gone forever. Jobs' reminder that your time is limited isn't just about mortality. It's about urgency. About recognizing that every day we wake up is a gift, not a guarantee. That life, no matter how long it feels, is in truth a fleeting moment on the canvas of the universe. It's easy to act as if we have time. We postpone dreams. We delay conversations. We ignore the quiet voice inside us that says this isn't right. All because we believe tomorrow will give us another chance. But what if it doesn't? Jobs, who faced cancer and the reality of his own end, understood better than most how finite life is. His message is not rooted in fear, but in freedom, the kind of liberation that comes when you stop pretending you'll live forever. 2. The trap of living for others. Don't waste it living someone else's life. What does that mean? In truth, most people live their entire lives wearing masks. We take jobs we don't like to impress people we don't respect. We mold our opinions to fit in. We silence our dreams to avoid discomfort. We let the expectations of parents, friends, society, or culture dictate the blueprint of our days. We scroll through social media and start mirroring lives that aren't ours. We chase validation instead of purpose. We confuse success with approval. Steve Jobs is reminding us, that's not living. That's existing in someone else's shadow. You weren't born to fulfill someone else's idea of who you should be. You weren't meant to shrink yourself to fit in a mold made by someone else's fear. You were meant to create, to challenge, to risk, to stumble, but above all, to live authentically. 3. The cost of conformity. Conformity is comfortable, but it comes at a price. When you live by someone else's script, you may avoid judgment, but you also forfeit the chance to discover who you really are. You trade possibility for predictability. And worst of all, you never hear your own voice beneath the noise of everyone else's. Many people climb ladders for decades, only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. They achieve goals not because they wanted them, but because someone told them they should. They look successful on the outside, yet feel lost on the inside. Steve Jobs didn't follow a conventional path. He dropped out of college. He studied calligraphy. He built a company in a garage. He got fired from the company he created, and then came back to lead it into greatness. That's not the life of someone who followed a template. It's the life of someone who listened to his own compass, no matter how unconventional the route seemed. 4. The power of listening to your inner voice. Jobs goes on to say in the same speech, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. This isn't just poetic language. It's a call to trust yourself, to reclaim the voice within you that's often drowned out by fear, doubt, or noise. That voice is quiet. It doesn't shout. It whispers. It tells you when you're settling. It tells you when you're pretending. It tells you when something more is waiting, if only you dare to reach for it. To follow that voice is not easy. It may lead to failure. It may cost you comfort. But it will never lead you to regret. Because no matter the outcome, you will have lived your life. not a borrowed one. 5. Legacy is built on authenticity. Jobs' legacy wasn't built by playing it safe. It wasn't built by doing what everyone else was doing. It was built by thinking differently. By creating from a place of passion, not pressure. People remember those who lived true to themselves, not just because they were different, but because they were real. In the end, living someone else's life may earn you applause, but it won't bring you peace. Peace comes from alignment, when what you do, what you believe, and who you are all walk in the same direction. 6. Facing the mirror. If today was your last, would you feel proud of how you've lived? It's a haunting question, but it's the one we need to ask more often. We wait for the right time to start over. We wait for certainty, for clarity, for approval. But life doesn't wait. Your time is not unlimited. You don't get to rehearse it. So if you're in a career that drains you, if you're living by rules that aren't yours, if you've muted your dreams just to please others, then perhaps today is the day you begin again. Not with a grand gesture, but with a quiet decision, to listen, to honor what matters, to live as you. Final reflection. Steve Jobs' quote is not just a reminder, it's a challenge to break free from expectations, to look within, and to live with intention. You only get one life. Don't spend it chasing someone else's version of happiness. Don't give it away to fear or conformity. Let your time, however limited, be spent fully, boldly, and honestly. Because the greatest success isn't what you achieve by copying others. It's what you become when you dare to be yourself.